Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: a woman calls the police because she has been robbed. She is arrested. The second story: the woman gets 3 warnings and is asked to leave the hotel. Does not react, then complains to the manager, me, about me. Now she's banned. The third story: the neighbor claims that we can't put a fence on our property. The first story is, "Yoo-hoo, officers, I'm over here." One day, a woman in her mid-50s called 911, stating she had been robbed at one of our local stores and said, "Help, I've been robbed, need the police quick," and hung up and ignored all calls from dispatch trying to call her back. So naturally, when a call comes in like that, the dispatcher is going to put out an urgent call, and we all drop what we're doing and go code 3, lights and sirens. I was on a traffic stop when the call came over the radio, and knowing I was only a mile or so away, I ended the traffic stop, gave them back their license, and took off. I am first to arrive, followed by several sheriff's deputies who provide mutual aid, as we're a small department. We get there and survey the area for the victim, which was unusual in my experience. People who need police quickly tend to meet us at our door before we even come to a stop, but we had to actively look for the victim in the case. So as I'm walking towards the front door to go inside, thinking they were in for safety reasons, when I see a short blue-haired woman with her hand in the air waving at us. "Yoo-hoo, officers, I'm over here." So a deputy and I go over to her while the others are preparing to do a search, and one of the deputies who responded had a canine and was getting his dog ready to tracking if needed. We go over to the woman. "It's our understanding you've been robbed, ma'am. How long ago was it? What did they rob you of? Which direction did they go afterwards?" She replies that it happened about 10 minutes earlier. She stated they robbed her of about $300 and said they were still inside the store. The deputy and I both looked at each other like, no, he can't be that stupid. Some criminals really are that stupid. Once had a guy steal a wallet from a man who then watched as the guy walked across the street to use his bank card. We got there just as he was walking out with 2 24-packs of beer. I called over to the other deputies and told them the situation, and that suspect fled inside the store, so they gathered around so we can get more details on what the person looked like. Clothes, etc. Me: "Ma'am, what did he look like? What was he wearing?" Her: "Oh, he's wearing a store uniform. It was the manager, Mike." Me: "Wait, you're telling us the manager came outside, robbed you, and then went back into work?" Her: "No, he robbed me inside the store. He wouldn't accept my $300 off coupon for my purchases, so he robbed me of $300. I want him arrested, and you can be sure I'm going to be calling his bosses to get him fired, but I can't imagine him having a job after you guys arrest him anyways." The deputy and I exchange a look of disbelief, and we tell the other officers and deputies what the situation was, and made a plan for 2 of us to go in each of the main doors, while one stayed with the victim, and the rest resumed their regular patrol. Me: "Okay, ma'am, remain here with this officer, and give him your information. Deputy J and I are going to go inside, and see if we can find Mike and get his side of the story since we got your side." Her: "What side is there to get? You're supposed to always believe the victim, not the robber." I just ignored the comment and walked in the door. As I walked in, the manager is already waiting for me. He was waiting to see if we needed anything from him, as he thought there was an actual robbery incident in the parking lot. He had no idea we were there about him. I tell me why we're there and what she said and everything. He does an actual facepalm and says, "Manager, oh my god, she actually did it? That woman is effing bonkers. We have issues with her every time she comes in trying to use fake coupons she finds on Facebook and other Renate sites, when we tell her they can't be used, as they're fake, and even prove it by scanning the barcode. She always says we just don't want to honor the coupons because we're just mad and want to steal them, because we get them, as Facebook only gives them to important clients, and if we don't access them, she's going to call 911 and say I robbed her." So after talking to the manager a bit more about all the trouble she causes every time she comes in, and how she was once temporarily banned for 6 months, he then directs me to cashier who attempted to check her out, and she confirms the woman is nuttier than a fruitcake, and once attempted to use a $1,500 off coupon she found online. Before leaving, I asked the manager if he wanted her trespassed. With a big smile, said absolutely. I walked back outside, and I didn't even have to say anything. Just nodded my head to the deputy. She knew that meant to hook her up with some shiny new bracelets, to a trip to the county-owned bed and breakfast. After realizing what was happening, she promptly started screaming. Her, "What are you arresting me for? He's the one who robbed me. I'm the victim. You don't arrest the victim." She then starts flailing and fighting with the deputy and myself, and ended up having asphalt for lunch after she tried to back kick the deputy between the legs, forgetting it was a female. As we carry her to the shop, still trying to kick us as we do, she's screaming about how the police never believe her when she tells them she's been robbed. We finally get her in the car and I'm reading her Miranda warning. After I finish, I ask if she wished to speak to me about what happened. This is when she hawks back, and before I had time to react, she spit directly in my face, with most of it getting in my eyes. She's screeching the whole 20-minute ride to the jail about how she's the victim, she's going to sue the store for making false claims, and how I and the deputy better start putting in applications at McDonald's and Burger King, as I'm going to be out of a job soon, and living on the street, as she's going to take everything I own when she sues me. She actually did file a complaint with IA and the sheriff, and when we were cleared with any wrongdoing, she tried to sue, but it was promptly dismissed, and was literally laughed out of court by the judge. Side note, while I was at the jail doing my paperwork when I did a search of her name, I found she had no previous arrest, which I was sure I'd find at least one or more, but nope. But I did however find at least 6 reports with her name as the victim in unfounded calls, and to my surprise not a single arrest or citation issued, just no trespass orders. She was ultimately charged with misusing the 911 system misdemeanor, filing a false police report, misdemeanor, battery on a law enforcement official, felony, battery on an officer with bodily fluids, spit, felony. It was a felony because her spit landed in my eyes. From my understanding from the DA, after she was found guilty at trial, she spent a little bit of time in jail for that stunt, and was banned that store for life, and from just about every store in the area, as she caused trouble at all of them. But it's been 7 or 8 years, and I haven't been out on a call for her, so I don't know if she's moved on to another area, or what, but I never answered another call regarding her. The second story is, oh, I'm sorry, I am the manager. To start off, we had a lovely third-party booking guest, expecting the world after she had paid what some might call highway robbery for a room at our property. It's Friday night, middle of summer, when most of these lovely stories happen, and a guest who is already on my short list is somehow the only guest who hasn't complained of a strong smell of weed from her block of rooms. Her next-door neighbor who's in a connecting room with her confirmed she was the one who had been smoking, when smoke started coming from under the door, after she had hotboxed it in her room. An angry, irate flight attendant is hounding on one of my agents at the front desk at this point about the smell. I'm the night manager, enjoying my lunch in the back office when I get a text from one of my agents that SH is starting to hit the fan regarding this guest. I hop on the phone to let the guest, we'll call her Miss Crazy, know about our policies here at the hotel regarding smoking. Me, "Hi, Miss Crazy, this is Cameron calling you from the front desk to let you know of our smoking policy here at the hotel." Miss Crazy, "Okay." Me, "Yes, so we do charge a fee if there's any evidence of smoke or damage in the room at the time of checkout. I'm just issuing this as a warning because we've been getting a lot of complaints from your section of rooms." Miss Crazy hangs up phone. At this point, I'm annoyed. I'm hourly. I just want to finish my lunch. But I had already known in the back of my head me and Miss Crazy were barely getting started. A few hours later, I'm getting ready to close out for the night, and I have a guest come down to the desk to let me know she's hearing what sounds like screaming children going up and down the halls. And in guess whose room? Miss Crazy. 1, the fact she had been smoking weed, and now there are kids in her room is beyond me. But the fact she now has a new complaint against her is infuriating. I give her a call, issue a new warning. I met with sarcastic one-word answers to my questions. I had been more than lenient with her up to this point. I let her know that if we receive another complaint about anything, we'll ask her to leave the property without a refund. Less than 5 minutes later, I kid you not, 2 phone lines go off at the same time, all about Miss Crazy and her kids going crazy at 11:30 p.m. in an upgraded section of the hotel on top of all this. I call her immediately. Me, "Miss Crazy, this is Cameron calling again from the front desk. We will have to ask you to leave the property immediately. You have until 12:15 a.m. to pack and go. Given there are kids involved, and it's the weekend on a summer night, I felt horrible kicking this family out, but I had been more than lenient with them up to this point, but she obviously didn't care." Miss Crazy, "You have a problem with me. Stop harassing me. I have children with me, leaving me alone." I get another call from the connecting room at this point. As she hangs up, I'm over it. I ask my security guard to watch the desk while I go up to personally take care of the situation. I knock front desk. Miss Crazy opens the door with a smile, acting like nothing had happened. Immediately starts going about how she's happy a manager is here, and how the person at the front desk was being so horrible to her and unreasonable. Miss Crazy. Cameron was awful. He should be let go immediately. I humor her at this point and let her go on, as the 3 children in the room are screaming and running around and jumping from bed to bed. Remnants of weed smell in the hallway. I let her continue until she finally says, and as you can see, there's no problem. Me. Miss Crazy, I am Cameron, the same one on the phone earlier, and I'm also the manager. Now please leave the hotel. Her whole demeanor changes. You're not Cameron. I just nod and smile, and she slams the door in my face. At this point, I feel like punching the door. I just shout through the door, I'm calling the police. Police get there in less than 5 minutes. It's a small city police force within a bigger jurisdiction. They're bored, so they send 6 cops for this woman and her children. Ridiculous, I know. I knock again and let her know police are there. She screams. I refuse to talk to him. Me. Police ask her to leave. She leaves. She pulls her car up front to load her bags and children, then has the nerve to come to me at the desk and throw her keys at me, telling me she's out and that I'm an A. I just smile and tell her have a nice night as I slide her my card. Me. You're banned. Please don't come back. And here's my card and name if you'd like to call back tomorrow morning to bother my general manager about my behavior. Now please leave or I will call the police back to cite you for trespassing. It's been a whole year. Haven't seen or heard from Miss Crazy since. My GM said he got an email from corporate about it, but sent them the video of her throwing the keys at me. Thank God for cameras. And the last story is... Good fences make good neighbors. Cast is me, of course. DH is Dear Hubby. And AN, A-hole neighbor. Approximately 4 years ago, I finally convinced DH to make the move to Florida. Think Scientology area. The kids are grown and on their own, so we made the leap and bought a wonderful little house close to the beach. All is well and good. We meet the neighbors and get along with all of them. I'm very happy at this point. My backyard fence is vinyl on 3 sides and wooden between me and my neighbor on the left, better known as AN. We had planned on changing it to vinyl, but Hurricane Irma beat us to it. Knocked it down pretty as you please. It took me about 3 months to save up for the materials and labor costs of my new fence. I like to pay cash if I can. Anyway, AN and DH are unloading my new fence, and out of nowhere, AN says, I don't know why you spent all this money on the fence. You can't put it up. Wait, what? What do you mean I can't put it up? AN then proceeded to tell me that the property line between us ran right through the middle of my shed, which the fence had been attached to, and where I planned on putting the new fence. AN also said that the neighbor on the other side of him put up a new fence while he was away, and when he got home, he made her take it down. You have got to be kidding me. Insert eye roll. I, however, am not so easily intimidated. I was actually quite mad. Having so recently purchased the home, I called the surveyor and explained what was up. We set up an appointment for the following week. Immediately when they pulled up and got out of their vehicle, AN runs over talking about, y'all can't be on my land. This is private property. The boss man of the crew was very polite, as he explained that they could and would be on his property to settle the dispute over property lines. If AN didn't agree with their findings, then he was more than welcome to hire his own surveyor and proceed to take it to court. Boy howdy, he was peeved. I found out that my property line was 22 inches past the shed, where the original fence had stood. DH took 21 3/4 of to put my fence. I've never been so proud of him. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.